Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accept meaning of angel is messenger, and the accept meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Dayna Faye. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like-minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Rae, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy. And I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, create your future, and transform your present. To expand your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, get clarity on the next steps to take, and take charge of your destiny so that you can fulfill your purpose in this lifetime. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guide to meditation, angel oracle card reading, with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Dayna Faye, about gaining clarity through human design. Now, Dayna is the host of the podcast Ordinary Magic, where she shares stories, wisdom, and curiosity around connecting with your high frequency and unlocking the extraordinary magic that permeates our world. Her transformative journey with human design started in 2019, a time of real self recognition. Fueling her passion, she took a human design training and now offers human design readings and a beautiful human design audio guide for a self paced journey. Now, in her clients' human design readings, Dayna helps them intertwine their charts with the narratives of their lives. This process allows them to forge a profound connection with their intuition and energy body, leaving them empowered by the realization that the answers lie within. So, without further delay, hello, Dayna, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hi, Ray. I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. And it's a great week. I didn't even tell you this, but Ray was so kind to come on to my podcast as a guest, Ordinary Magic, and your episode is coming out this Wednesday.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so it's a week full of Dayna and Ray.
It is. The villain, I'll share that out there. So,
Yeah.
before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments, and thoughts, as both Dana and I want to be part of this conversation. So, please don't be shy. So, Dana, why don't you tell us more about your journey and about what human design is and how we can use it to gain clarity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to take you back on my journey, I would say that started in 2015. And that was the year that my father passed away from battling cancer for 7 years. So he was young, he was 52, and he got
Wow.
to, pass away at home in hospice. And that was a profound experience. And maybe the listeners can relate that oftentimes the spiritual journey starts with kind of a new experience that happened to you in life, whether that's really good or depicted as not so
Yeah.
good. But watching my dad pass away definitely had kind of changed something in me. And I clearly was starting to seek more answers and become more of a seeker. So that happened in 2015, and I stumbled upon different spiritual or metaphysical practices like Reiki energy healing, learning about my energy body, the Hindu chakra system, things like that. And I had become a personal trainer. I was really into health and fitness and the self-development world, just like reading all the books and learning everything I could learn. And while I was training some clients in 2019, one of those clients who knew I was into the woo woo things, was like, have you ever heard of human design? Like, I was like, no, tell me about this. And, human design is a system that's made up of 4 esoteric systems: astrology, the Kabbalah tree of life, the Chinese I Ching, and the chakra Hindu system. So I kind of knew, some of these things. And just like pulling your astrology birth chart, you put in your birth time, your date, and your location on where you were born to pull your human design chart. So I did that. And one of the big things that it taught me right away is that I'm a manifesting generator, which is an energy type. And that energy type is very fast and pivots often. And they're meant to do many things. They're not meant to stick with things all the time. And they may to the outsider's point of view, look flaky or like they're quitting things a lot. And so to find out that that was me after my entire 20s of bouncing from job to job, career to career, different industries, and feeling very insecure about that because society, family, and friends were like, what are you doing? Um, to find my human design chart and for it to tell me that that's actually completely normal and actually more, it's completely correct for me and I should keep doing it, was like the biggest like aha moment ever. I just felt super seen.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? That we go through life doing all these things that have people go look at you and go, really, what are you doing that for, etc. And yet something, as you say, like human design, you can look at it and go, oh, that's why I was doing that. I've got an explanation now.
Yes, yes, it's such a gift. I mean, it first came here in 1987, so it's not that old. And I really truly think it's a system that came here to help us through this time of uncertainty, this time of information overload. And what it's supposed to help us understand is that our minds should not be the drivers of our decision making or of our intuition. And that actually we have the answers within, we have the wisdom within. But a lot of us, through conditioning, of our childhood, of society, of the communities we're in, we've lost how to trust our inner compass. Whether you call that intuition or, when somebody says it's just a gut check, like just listen to your gut. I mean, easier said than done. And so, human design is a very practical, almost blueprint to show you what your energy body looks like, how it operates, and how you are meant to tap into your intuition. And it's not all the same for everyone. Everyone's chart is very, very different, which is another thing that human design is really trying to teach us, is that in this homogenized world, we're meant to dehomogenize. And so as I was in my self-development journey, reading, different books that are telling me, you need to wake up at 5 a.m., you need to read these many books a month, or, like all these things. It's like, yes, great. That worked for you. Why is it not working for other people? And human design shows you exactly why that is.
Okay, so that's interesting. Again, I suppose you could look at the law of attraction. It works like The Secret. It worked for some people, but not for other people. And I'm guessing that really sort of like depends on their human design.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So, for example, you learn like where your intuition is in human design, and Rae, I got to look up your chart before we came on here, and you have what's called an emotional authority, which means that ultimately your final decisions on things come from riding your emotional wave. And 51% of the population are actually emotional authorities. So, unlike what we've been taught our whole life, is like if you look more confident if you have the answer now, like you should know what you want, things like that. Actually, 51% of us, myself included, we're supposed to take an answer that we feel in our body and then ride it when we're feeling super happy, when we're feeling really low, and then come to a neutral place, whether that takes minutes, hours, or days on a decision. And when we feel neutral and unattached to that decision, and we felt it in every range of emotion, which is actually the gift of being a human, it is the human experience, is feeling emotions, then we ultimately have the right answer. So for many people, an easy example of this is a friend asks you, hey, do you want to go to a movie Friday night on Monday? And on Monday, you might have woken up in a high emotional wave that day. And you're like, yes, that sounds like so much fun. And then throughout the week, you're riding these different emotional waves and you're actually feeling this like feeling in your body, like, no, I don't actually want to go. But canceling makes you look like, not a good friend. So if we have more of this language through human design, like, you know what, that sounds really fun right now. I think I want to do it, but let me get back to you on Wednesday. Something as simple as that.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense.
Do you feel that at all?
I can actually see where that comes from. Yeah, I want to come to that. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if I want to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the concept that oftentimes the universe has the answer for you better than you do yourself. And a lot of learning your human design, and if you follow it, right, there's intellectualizing it and then there's actually putting it into practice. But if you actually follow it, it's really letting go of control and just knowing, well, if I follow my intuition, it will lead me where the universe wants me to go. Ultimately, even better than what I could have imagined.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So the other 49%, what would they be classed as?
So there's many other different authority
Oh,
types. Yes. But the emotional is the most popular. And then the
got
second
you.
most popular is the sacral authority type, which is actually listening to your gut. So those are the people who do have the answer just like this. They shouldn't second guess themselves. They don't need to weigh out the pros and cons list. Like whatever they feel in their gut in that moment is totally correct for them. And those two authorities, well, sacral authority for sure, is only made up of two of the energy types, which are generators and manifesting generators. And there's 5 energy types total. It's
Okay.
a very, very layered system, and we kind of jumped ahead. So maybe
Yeah.
I should rewind.
Should we just rewind back a little bit?
Yes, let's rewind a little bit. So human design really gives you like a map of who your soul came here to be before you came onto earth. And then you live life, right? And you get conditioned. And we're more in the head than we are in the body into our intuition. So looking at your human design charts help you see like, okay, I'm going to get back into my body and follow my intuition. Now, the first layer of human design are the 5 different energy types. And if you're familiar with astrology, this can oftentimes feel like your zodiac sign. Like it's going to get that popular eventually. So there's manifestors. They are around 8 to 9% of the population. They are the only energy type that are meant to initiate and manifest and don't need to wait to get things done. They are here to bring ideas or things into form. And then the other energy types are here to help them continue those things. So manifestors, they manifest. And then we have the projectors, who are around 20% of the population, and they are the newest energy type. They are here to be the guides and the people who really see people and systems deeply. So the manifestors manifest something, the projectors are able to look at that thing or that person, and they are really naturally gifted at something, and they can see how we can be more efficient or how they can guide. They make great coaches, therapists, mentors, things like that. But even like software engineers, things with systems. Yeah. And then we have the generators and the manifesting generators. So generators and the manifesting generators are the only types with their sacral motor defined. And if you're familiar with the chakra system, that's your sacral chakra located, right below your belly button.
Yeah.
And so they're the very like life force energy types. And they have endless amounts of energy that they create as long as they're doing things they love. As soon as they're not doing things that they don't want to do or they don't love, their energy depletes. Old human design language kind of says that they're the worker bees of the planet. So like if the manifestors manifest, then the generators and the manifesting generators take that idea or whatever and just go and do and make it happen. Now, the difference between the two is generators, which Rae, you're a generator.
Okay.
Yes. So you're a sacral being, which means you have that sacral motor, you have life force energy, and generators are super, super, super sparkly when they're doing things they love. And you give that off and people just flock to you and the universe wants to bring you things. And it's your job to just simply respond to the things that are coming to you. That's how you use your energy type and say yes or no. So when you don't feel in your sacral motor, so kind of like in your gut, if you really like something or not, if you feel it, you say yes to it. If you don't, you say no. And then you just wait for the next thing to come your way. So you're not initiating like a manifestor and like we're all taught to do in our life, right?
Yeah.
So generators are more singularly focused. You can take one activity and spend hours on it as long as it's still lighting you up. If you start to plateau, you may need to give yourself more options, like how do I want to reinvigorate this, or have somebody else give you some options. But ultimately, you can really continue to work on an activity that you love for a really long time, and then just let your head hit the pillow at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right for you?
Yeah, If I'm really in the flow and I'm kind of like I was creating some posts today for a masterclass I'm going to be creating, and literally just hours later I've looked up and gone, oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's the time now.
That is totally generator right there, just in your flow. And that's what's so great. You create this sparkly energy that, projectors, they don't have that sacral motor. They need more rest than other types do, which is totally fine and great. They also love to be around generators and receive that energy. And they also are really good at guiding generators and MGs as well. So the difference is a manifesting generator has a little more manifestor energy in them, but they're like a generator with some manifesting energy with them. So they move really fast. They're like the energy type who has 10 tabs open on their web browser. And instead of finishing one activity first, they're jumping to this one and then back to this one and that one. But the point for them is that they're meant to have a non-linear path in their life. And they're actually here to show the world how things can be done differently. Like no one has ever seen them before. So it's not that they need to be creating brand new things. They absolutely can be, but they can also take something and do it completely different. For example, I'm a real estate agent and I have a spiritual podcast, right? And I'm definitely melding the two. I definitely learn some of my clients' human design charts to help them with their decision-making process as they're buying homes here. So something like that, right? So that's the manifesting generator. And then the last energy type are reflectors, and they're only 1% of the population. They have no energy centers defined, so they're completely open. And what they're meant to do is, if we were all together, like in a tribe, in a community with the energy types, reflectors are there to feel how everyone's doing and then just simply reflect it back to them. So they're a bit of chameleons, and they really show us like how our health is. If a reflector isn't in an environment that they don't feel good in, that's a reflection on how the community is doing at that time.
Yeah. And that's so fascinating that each one of them is designed to actually work with the other.
Yes.
It's kind of like you can do it by yourself, but if all 5 types are in the same place, my God, can you imagine the business or whatever you're doing or the community would just explode. It will just
Yes.
out there.
Yes, I love it. And I love the analogy. I've heard this once, like if everybody was one puzzle piece and everyone in this world made up a whole puzzle, but you actually stuck to the puzzle piece that you're supposed to be. Imagine what a beautiful puzzle we would make. And that's what human design is here to help us. That if you're a generator trying to be a manifester or a projector, and it's not working for you because that's meant for somebody else, to use their genius. So it really is here to help us create more flow and ease. That the old work hard, play hard, hustle, grind, that's the old paradigm. We're moving into a new paradigm where the energy is really supportive for everyone to live their unique individualistic path. And you don't have to know your human design chart to know that. Tune into yourself, into your intuition. That is, you can feel your energy body. But when you're first learning about your energy body, human design just helps you get there so much faster.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. And something we were chatting about earlier was that human design isn't just for humans, is it? So about the planet,
Yes,
which I never
yes.
even thought about.
Yes, so just like astrology, if you've heard of the age of Aquarius, yes, just like that. So everybody in human design has an incarnation cross, or it's kind of like called their life theme. Like it's just this overlying life theme that's always going on in the background. And there's 192 different ones. And the collective, the earth right now, has been in the same life theme, which was called the cross of planning, for the past 200 some years. And so cool. That is your cross. That is your incarnation cross, Rae, which is so neat. I'm like, oh, I feel like you're famous. And then we're actually moving into a new incarnation cross in 2027, which is the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is my incarnation cross. And that really changes things. That changes the whole energy, that's going on here. So just like people tune into the new moon and the full moon, or, like that. In human design, the sun moves gates every 6 days. Like we're always watching the transits of the energy. And so in 2027, we're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And what that means is that we're moving from the cross of planning, which was a lot more helpful for putting structures into place, communities, infrastructure, and which we needed for years, right? To help us all grow. And so there were rules and regulations and infrastructure, things like that. But now we're letting the pendulum swing kind of from the very kind of masculine energy more over to the feminine energy of being more individualistic. And that's the energy that's really going to hit us. And it already has been. People are definitely feeling that. With opportunities these days with technology, you can individualize however you really want if you just dream with the lid off. And so as you move into 2027, we're all going to become a lot more individualized, which is really cool that you pointed out, though, that even though you'll be doing your individual thing, we'll be going together like pieces of the puzzle if we work together according to our human design. We're not meant to do this alone. We are a community, species of people. We're meant to be with people. So it's really, really neat that we're going to be able to individualize and own it and like really dehomogenize and be separate from others, but also share our gifts with others and create beautiful things.
Oh, yeah, that's that's absolutely amazing. And the fact that, even with the normal astrology age of Aquarius, something like human design is actually backing it up as well.
Yes, that's what's so cool. There's many, many things that are backing each other up. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's all working together as that collective to create something new out there, which is absolutely amazing. So what else can human design tell us? I mean, this is so fascinating.
Yes, yeah. So you have your energy type, which is that first layer, and each energy type actually has a strategy with it, which literally tells you, how do I start using my energy type now that I know what it is? So for manifestors, because they get a surge, they get like this surge when they want to manifest something, and they just want to go and do it. They're so fast that they oftentimes leave us all behind. And so their strategy is actually to inform those around them, not ask for permission, but to inform us what they're up to. Because actually, their aura, which is their energetic body, to the other types can sometimes feel repelling and a little off putting. And that's only because we feel like they're a little mysterious, because their energy moves so quickly when they get a manifestor urge that it is most helpful for them to inform people, hey, I got this idea and I'm going to go do it. I just want to let you know. And then we feel like we're on the same page with them. But that's really hard for manifestors to do, because they just feel or assume that we all think like they do, or we all have their same energy. So manifestors, you guys are supposed to inform. And then the generators and the manifesting generators, we are supposed to wait for the universe to bring something to us and then respond to it. Yes. So our auras are very magnetic, and we draw things to us when we're doing things that we love. We're very magnetic, right? So definitely don't just sit on the couch. You need to be out there, but you're responding to things in your environment or to people no matter what. Generators and MGs are always responding. And it's very hard for our energy type to respond to open-ended questions. So this is a really good trick for you guys. Start to give yourself always 2 to 3 things to respond to, because your response is coming from your sacral motor. It's coming from your body. You have to feel in your body when someone says, hey, Rae, do you want to eat Italian tonight or Mexican food? And you can feel each of those questions in your body and either have a like, yes, that sounds delicious, or like, no, thanks, not tonight, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So waiting to respond, which is definitely a new concept, right? Most of us are conditioned to initiate, and that's only meant for 8 to 9% of the population. So cool. You can tell I get excited about this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then you have the projectors. Their strategy is actually to wait for the invitation. And that's because their aura, their energy body, is very penetrating. When they walk in a room, the people who know they can help them can feel their aura. They feel invited in to invite that projector in to help them with, whatever it is they're working on. What can happen for projectors oftentimes, because they do feel so gifted and wise at whatever they're offering, is when people don't invite them in and they're just telling them, hey, you need to do this. Some energy types are not ready to hear your projector wisdom yet. And so it doesn't land that well. So when projectors aren't invited in first, usually it just comes off a little off-putting or bossy, or like, they're a know-it-all, things like that. So projectors, make sure that you are feeling recognized by another person and invited in. And that can be, explicit or implicit. You can just feel that way, or they're literally saying, hey, I need your advice. Please tell me. And when you do get invited in and share that, it's like, like it lands for the other person you're helping, and they look to you as like, wow, you really helped me. And then for reflectors, their strategy is to wait a full lunar cycle. And that's because the reflectors are very deeply connected to the moon, and they need to feel out. So the moon transits all 64 gates that are in human design, which this is part of the Chinese I Ching. So the 64 different energies the moon transits through in one lunar cycle. And so a reflector, since they're so connected to the moon, they need to take kind of their decision making or their strategy and feel that out in all those different energies, because they're always reflecting things. So basically for reflectors, wait a little while on things.
Wow, that's so fascinating. About how, yeah, what we've always been taught is so different to actually what our types are. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, people I know that are very connected to the moon cycles. I'm gonna have to see if I bet you any money they're reflectors.
You need to look up their chart. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just really fascinating that in a world that's like speeding up, we really do need to slow down in order to put that into practice. I mean, as an MG, sometimes for me, waiting for something to respond to is very difficult. I'm just like, no, I have an idea. Let's force it because I have the energy to do it. I just want to do it. But our goal is to have more ease and flow and to match, the energy of your intuition and what the universe really wants for you. And that's, yeah, you use your strategy to do that.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. And to all those that I can see watching, please don't be shy, do say hello. And if you've got any questions, then, then please do put them in the comments if you want to know something about human design that I've not asked about yet. So gates, that's kind of like another thing that's what gates?
Yes. Yep. So let's back it up a little. So
Okay.
we have,
See, I'm
yep, we
getting
have
ahead of myself here.
Yes, no, it's okay. We have the energy types. And then I think a next great place when you're first looking at your human design chart are your centers, which are like the chakra system. We have 9 centers. So you have your root at the bottom, your sacral, your solar plexus, which governs your emotions, your spleen, which is the most primal energy center that governs like your instincts, your health and wellness, your fears. Then we have the identity center here in the chest. So that's all about your identity. And then off to the side, we have your little heart center, which is the center for ego, willpower, and drive. And then we have a throat center, which is great for manifesting. And then the ajna, which is your third eye for conceptualizing ideas. And then your crown, your head, which is called your head center. And this is a great next place to look. Where you have color in your centers means where you have consistent access to energy every day. It's where you're defined. And where you're undefined is where you don't have color. And that's where, when you're out in the world, you pick up energy of other people and their other types. Yeah. So I can give you an example, Rae, actually, if I'm remembering back to your chart, you have a very defined identity center, which is connected to your sacral chakra. So your identity and your sacral go really well together. And then you have a defined heart center. So you have this like consistent energy to compete and like go the extra mile. And that's connected to your solar plexus, which is your emotional center. So when you're kind of going the extra mile, you may be using a lot of emotions there. But your root center is almost, I think it has one gate on it, but it's undefined. It's open. And for example, your root center is the center for feeling the pressure to get up and go, to head out, to get your groceries quickly and then leave the store, things like that. Yours is undefined. Have you ever felt like pressured by other people when you're around them, that they're always like on a time schedule and you're feeling like, a little
Yeah.
like, hey, what's the rush? Like, I want to take my time. I want to start my day slowly, like things like that.
Yeah.
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 So
Yes.
that's what happens. That's what happens for an undefined root person is they can be conditioned, which is the language that human design uses, by other people who have a defined root and feel the rush and feel the hurry. But when you have a white center or undefined center, that's a place for great wisdom to know that actually when you're in your own energy of that, when you're with other people, you can feel whether they have a healthy root center or not. Like, is there too much adrenaline going on
Mm.
down there or not? And you have the wisdom of being like, no, let's time keep here. Let's move a little slower. Let's match our energy to the earth's rhythm a little more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, totally. I always say that's one of the things people know me for. Ground. Just ground.
Really?
Yes, literally that is like everyone that knows me will know that I will go, "You're not grounded." Ground.
I love it. And I have a super defined head and ajna together, and they're not connected. So the gates are what connect the centers. And
Okay.
hopefully some people can look at their chart because it's a little bit easier. But I have a super defined crown and ajna center, and it's not connected to my next centers.
Oh.
So I'm not grounded like ever. I'm always up here with the energy, like, woo.
Ground.
Yes, please help me.
Oh, wow, that's so fascinating. So they're not all connected then.
So,
Some
yeah, so like for example, yours aren't all connected, your defined ones. In order to be defined, they have to connect somewhere. And they connect through the gates, which is what you asked about. So there's
mm,
64 different gates, and those are like your expressions of energy. Those are like your gifts that you came here to bring into this world. And everyone has a special series of gates, and they match with the different astrological planet placements. So, different expressions of them as well when you look at the chart. But when you have two gates that match up, that's what makes two centers defined. That's what
okay.
gives them the energy. But people have all different kinds of charts. Some are all connected. And then we have like my chart, for example, I have my crown and my ajna connected, and then there's a split. And then my throat is connected to my sacral and my root. No, I can't even remember. Throat to my identity center and sacral center. And then my root, and then there's a split. And then my root is connected to my emotional center, my solar plexus. So I only feel my pressure of my emotional wave. I'm always feeling the pressure to emote all the time.
Okay, that's this is just so fascinating. There's just so much. So what else have we got in human
So
design?
yeah, so it's super, super layered. So once you learn your energy type, and what's so cool about human design is that, the founder of it said, you don't actually need to learn your whole chart if you're following your strategy and your authority. So you've got your strategy, you have your energy type, your authority is your decision making style that we were talking about in the beginning. Or your intuition, however you want to call that. So it's just different areas that your intuition is in your body. And then you have the centers, which is nice to look at like, oh, wow, okay, when I'm out and about with friends, especially for somebody who has, let's say, an undefined solar plexus, so their solar plexus is white, they're not emotional. But when they're with people, they may feel even more emotional. than us emotionals, because they're able to feel everybody's in the room. Whereas we, the people who have emotional centers, are kind of just in our own emotions most of the time. So it's really, really brings a lot of awareness. And I would argue that whether people know it or not, they're becoming more and more attuned to energy over these past couple of years. I mean,
Yes.
people are energy readers, whether they learn about these things or not. So why not learn about where you take on other centers? For example, if somebody has an undefined head center, you may be taking on other people's anxiety, or thoughts or overthinking. A lot of these things don't have to be yours. And it doesn't have to be scary. I hope it doesn't sound that way at all. These are areas for wisdom as well, as to be like, oh, wow, I can really feel you're overthinking right now. How can I help you? Things like that. And so you have the centers, and then you have the gates that come together. So the 64 different gates, different expressions of energy. And then when two gates come together, they make a channel. So it's like two gates together, and the channels are kind of like extra circuitry. It's kind of like plugging the plug into the socket, and it's like it's taking the gates and making one big expression of energy. And then you have your profile as well, which is like your archetype or personality. It's the way that you share your human design, kind of the flavor through it. So, for example, Rae, you are a 4-6 profile, which is the 4 is an opportunist or a networker, and the 6 is a role model. So, for you, what the 4 shows is that it is actually best for you to always keep a really great network of friends, because you receive anything from just a recipe share to work opportunities through your network. It's always through somebody you know. So it's really good for the 4th line. They want to be social people. They are social people. It's great for you to keep friends from the past, current, and leave room for the future as well. And then the 6 is the role model. And it's kind of more of the new age role model, where you are meant to be a role model simply by being just incredibly authentically 100% you and doing your thing. And other people look to you, but it's not like you're a leader on the podium being like, follow me. It's more like, just being you, and people feel like you're a role model through that expression. Do you resonate with any of those?
Yeah, I mean that makes that makes so much sense. When I start looking back and I think about a lot of the work and clients and things like that, it's through people that I know that have passed on. And obviously, I teach, I've got a membership, where it's kind of like I'm there as a role model. I help people develop their own skills, their own abilities, by being me. And when I'm not being authentically me, then I am a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love learning about the profiles, because, you have a 4 in your profile, but somebody who has a 5 in their profile, they actually can do quite well with people they don't know. They actually have a lot more influence over strangers. So when I'm even just working with some of my colleagues in real estate, I'm able to suggest to them, well, if you're a 5, I don't think you should be running your business exactly how I am, which is more through my sphere of influence. Because I'm also have a 4 in my profile. They could be doing marketing, setting up a booth somewhere where they're meeting brand new people, things like that. So yeah, it's really cool. And the 6 profile line is so neat. And I just wonder if you resonate with this at all. For the 6, for your first 30 years of life, you were meant to have a lot of trial and error. You were meant to have a lot of success and a lot of failures at the same time, like kind of bump up against life, and kind of just like a little bit, like that's how a 6 creates the wisdom that they have, is by trying things out for themselves, trying things on for size. And then around after 30 years old, it's kind of like you retreat and really synthesize everything, and just kind of let your first 30 years soak in, of like, wow, I learned a lot by all my experience.
Oh, yeah, I did an awful lot.
Yes. And then after 50, they say, is when you really step into the 6th line role model phase.
Oh, perfect. So I'm in that phase now.
Yes. Yes. So congratulations, you made it. Because for a
Yeah.
lot of 6 profile lines, the first 30 years can feel a little bit daunting and hard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, was it daunting? I wouldn't say it was daunting and hard, but yeah, I probably experimented and tried a lot of things, and yeah, and looked at a lot of things, and things, yeah, were up and down.
And that's
So
100% right for you. Whereas somebody who has a 1 line in their profile, they're actually really good at researching and diving down deep on a certain topic. Like they're meant to really read everything and research everything.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Although I do like researching stuff and going deep and inquiring about stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but then that might be from the first 30 years where I was always because I've always been a questioning person. Well, why? Why? How does that work?
And that's good. And that may be coming from you have an undefined head and eye, so they're open. So you probably enjoy reading different materials, listening to podcasts, like listening to other people's point of views, and then synthesizing it through your other centers.
Ah, yeah, that'll make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. This is so fascinating. And that so I'm kind so this is what I was kind of like was going through my head when we were talking about this, and sort of like people that may not have defined sacral centers. Could they be sort of like more the empaths and people like yourself that don't have the connection between the two top ones and then the throat are more kind of like have a more spiritual, more intuition, more connected type thing.
Yeah,
And that's what's going through my head.
yes, no, that's good. You are kind of on it. So actually, I would say that those people who have an undefined solar plexus, so your emotional center, those could definitely show up more like people who are empaths because their aura is feeling other people's emotional centers. So, for example, my sister has an undefined emotional center, but I have a defined. So, our whole life when we're living together, sharing a room even for half our lives, she may be feeling all these emotions and actually think they were hers and really be taking them on and taking them to school. And turns out like it actually might have been me waking up in a different emotional weather that day. So
I'm
it's
gonna have to
really
check my
nice to
sisters.
yes, it's nice to have that language. I mean, especially for, to just learn about like, oh, with family and, things like that. Like maybe I was just being conditioned by my mom the whole time. So I would say the solar plexus would definitely be like, okay, anyone who has an undefined, you might feel more like an empath. If you don't have boundaries up of being like, oh, I can feel these emotions and have compassion for them, but I don't actually have to take them on.
Mm,
This is where some good energy practices can come in, like putting the white cloud around you, or when you get home, grounding and letting, wash your hands and just say, I release anyone's energy that I picked up today, that type of thing.
yeah,
Um, and then in regards to the head and ajna, you were kind of on that because the channels that connect the head and ajna can be very mystical or metaphysical, very spiritual. So for example, I have the gate of mystery in my head. It's called the gate of mystery, and it connects to the gate of rationalization. And so I'm always thinking of like I always want to know, but I also understand you can't know everything. Like I'm a
yeah.
seek. That's what makes me a seeker, is wanting to have the answers, but also understanding that sometimes you just feel the answer and you can't explain what it is. And that's the spiritual metaphysical vibe of that. Now, when it comes to having your sacral center defined or not defined, that is the hub for the life force energy, for your engine to go, 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 kind of like an energizer bunny. Like when a generator is really doing what they love, you're just that bunny, like all day, all night, until you fall asleep. Of course, you have to sleep. Um, and for those that don't have their sacral center defined, let's say they go to a party at night and they're with a bunch of generators, so a projector, manifestor, or a reflector, you're with a bunch of generators and you're feeling their excited sacral energy and you take it on and you amplify it actually. So you're all like, yes. But then you go home and you feel extremely depleted because you're not around their sacral center anymore. And you like, oh, it's almost like drinking a cup of coffee and then crashing later, from the caffeine. Um, so it's a good practice for the non-sacral beings to, it's okay for you to take that energy on, but to know that it's completely normal for you to not feel energized all the time. And in fact, they say that for projectors, they're really only supposed to do around 2 to 3 hours of output every day, like of work.
Oh,
And the
wow.
rest, I know, and the rest should be spent working on their gifts that they're really good at in a like restful, like an active rest. They should just be resting. And that's not to say like, oh, I'm a projector, I have to lay around all day. No, it's to say that you guide and see so well that your work is worth, working with 3 clients a day only. And then the rest of the day, continuing to hone your craft in your active rest, in your own aura, or working on, your energy body, different things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the question. So I'm guessing, as in, like with astrology, you have your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign. With human design, I'm guessing it's kind of like works out the same, because obviously you were saying about with that cross that's going on, about authority, rules, etc. Well, I've always kind of like been a little, not exactly like that. I've kind of like always been off, not quite the mainstream and not quite the rule person. So it kind of like with that cross, well, I'm not all like that cross. So I'm guessing it's like astrology. You've got different bits, will change it slightly.
Yes, yes. So, like, yeah, that's a good point. So, oftentimes when people only know their sun sign, they don't realize that, like, you need to know your moon and rising to put the whole picture together. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
totally.
it's
So,
so
yeah, I think as human design is continuing to become more and more mainstream, everybody's going to know their energy type. And of course, it's fun to go on Instagram and see the little like, I'm a manifester and this is what I do, like the little carousel posts and everything. But you're right. It's so much more than that. It's very extremely layered. For example, I'm a manifesting generator. I'm told that I'm supposed to have tons of energy, and go as long as I'm doing what I love. But I'm also a 2-4 profile type.
right.
And for twos, they're very naturally gifted at things, but they need a lot of alone time. They're a little bit of hermits and they need alone time in order to let their natural gifts just come out naturally. And that also means I need a lot of rest because I need that alone time equals rest as well. So for me to go around saying I'm an MG and here's exactly my prescription, it's not that simple, just like you're asking, but it's a great place to start. And if you just focus on actually implementing your strategy and your authority, those are 2 great places to begin. And then from there, you can learn. What I've found in my exploration of human design is learning the first layers has been amazing. And then sometimes learning the deeper ones gives you a little bit of a light bulb or an aha about the first layers again. Like learning about what, like my channel of charisma, that is only a channel for manifesting generators. So learning deeper about that channel helps me understand maybe being an MG just a little bit more.
Oh my God, this is so fascinating. We we
Yeah,
we could chat for hours, and
we could.
you can see how much you love talking about it and how much it is part of you. So as the I do angel oracle card readings and guided meditations. So each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an angel oracle card for themselves and those watching. So Dayna, what would you like me to do?
It's so funny. In the beginning, I thought I would pick the angel card, but I think that was a lot of talking and a lot of information. So I would love a guided meditation. I think that sounds great.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do is I will do a guided meditation from a card. No,
Woohoo!
so we get to do
Best of
both.
both worlds.
Yeah, so we'll do. What does Dana and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? And we'll see. Okay, that one wants to come out. Okay, so close your eyes. And as you do so, take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, Just release everything that doesn't need to be in this space. Take another deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release what doesn't need to be here. And allow your breathing to fall into its natural rhythm. Every in-breath relaxing you more and more, and every out-breath just releasing what doesn't need to be here. And as your breathing falls into its natural rhythm, just think about relaxing your whole body. Think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. For when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and allow yourself to relax. And as you do, just feel your head start to relax. As that relaxation moves down into your face, relaxing all the muscles in your face, your ears, your jaw. As that relaxation moves down into your neck muscles, down into your shoulders, and your shoulders just feeling so relaxed. As this relaxation moves down your arms to your fingers, and it moves into your body, and you feel your upper body start to relax, your stomach relax, the whole of your back start to relax. As that relaxation moves down into your hips and pelvis, down through your buttocks, down your legs all the way to your toes. Your whole body is just so relaxed. And I want you to engage your imagination now. And just imagine that you are standing in a golden castle, and you are looking out of the window of that golden castle. And in the distance, you can see beautiful mountains, beautiful blue sea, and the sky is a beautiful blue with the sun. But you notice that it's been raining, and the gold of the castle and the mountains just glistens. And you see a path leading towards this pool of water, and that glistens too. And above is a rainbow, the most brightest coloured rainbow you have ever seen. And that rainbow just lights up the sky. And you feel so wonderfully blessed, so connected. And the flowers around you seem so bright. The greenery, the blue, all the colours. They're just so bright, and you know that there are so many blessings coming into your life. Rainbow blessings just showering down on you. Knowing that as you stand fully connected to the universe, to all that is, that there are rainbow blessings, there is abundance, there is gold, there is bright colours all around you. And you just soak in all that beautiful, warm, bright colours, allowing them to permeate into every single cell of your body. Feeling all those rainbow blessings just showering into your life, into your here and now, creating all that abundance that is there for you. And I'll just give you a moment or two, just allowing that beautiful energy to seep into every part of you. And as you take on these beautiful rainbow blessings, you know that for the rest of your day, you're going to have amazing things come into your life. And if you're going to be going to sleep, you're going to have the most amazing dreams. But just know that these rainbow blessings are here now for you. And anytime you want to connect to them, you just need to concentrate on that beautiful rainbow and all those vibrant colours. And know that blessings are coming into your life. You have created them. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, each ascending number bringing you back into the present, into the here and now, bringing back that energy, those feelings, all those blessings. So coming back now 1, further back 2, all the way back 3, coming into your body, into the here and now, all the way back 4, 5, move your body, wiggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes, stretch if you need be, drink some water, and welcome back.
That was lovely. I felt the rainbow blessings for sure.
Excellent. And that was the card that came out, was Rainbow Blessings. Blessings are showering your life.
That's beautiful.
And that, so for you and everyone that's watching this, whether live on the replay, you know, blessings are showering your life at the moment. If you're doing what you love doing, then you're taking in that and that energy, and you're looking for the rainbow in every situation, then blessings are definitely coming into your life. So
Yes.
it's a beautiful card that's come out um, for you. So please do let us know in the comments, you know, how you found that guided meditation. Again, whether you're watching this live or the replay. So Dayna, as you ground back into your body, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
Oh, yes. I just think the main thing is that your body holds the key. Your body holds the wisdom. And you don't have to get confused on where that is, but connecting to your intuition and quieting your mind is the first step. So, however you want to get there, whether that's learning your human design or if that's doing a grounding meditation where you can go, I've quieted the mind enough to know that I actually have the answer already. It was just a little bit more quiet. And follow that, and then have the confidence to follow it and see the results when you do that.
Beautiful, excellent words. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have, and I've learned a lot about human design today. And it's now kind of like I really want to go and delve deeper into it. So if people want to connect with you, Dayna, how do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can connect with me on my website. It's daynafaye.com. That's DaynaFaye.com. And that's where you can work with me 2 different ways for human design. I've created a really beautiful human design audio guide presentation that takes you through all the layers we talked about today. It's a great starting place. And I also include a live recorded Zoom. It's around 10 minutes usually, so I can put the layers of your chart together for you. So that's a great, affordable place to start. If you like more of the one-on-one work and want to dive even deeper with me, I do offer a 90-minute human design reading on my website as well. And I'm also on Instagram at Dayna.Faye. So it's just, Dayna.Faye. And I'd love for you to follow me and send me a message. Send me a message through my website. I love connecting with people. So
beautiful. And what I'll do is I'll put links to you in the comments after the show, so that people can literally just click on the link and they go straight there.
Yeah. Oh, and listen to Ordinary Magic, because Rae is on this week.
Yes, I'll even put the link to
Yes,
the podcast.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and it's not just me on that podcast. Dayna's had some lovely guests on there. Who've shared their wisdom and their experiences as well. So it's well worth putting that on your playlist, especially if you've got that spiritual slant. It's an amazing podcast to listen to. And so thank you so much, Dayna, for sharing your wisdom. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. So thank you so much.
You're very
for
welcome.
it. And of course, anyone out there, if you are now ready to remember your divine presence and step onto your spiritual multidimensional path, but you feel lost, confused, or stuck or alone, then please feel free to connect with me, and we can see where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny so that you can spread your wings and soar. And of course, you can receive a free future life progression recording to discover your destiny by seeing into your future, to get guidance and clarity that you can use in your current life, as well as a couple of other free gifts by signing up to my email list. And you can also find out more about Angel Wings membership, which will help you come out of the spiritual closet and enjoy creating life on your own terms by visiting my website, Radiant Angel Energy. And look out for a masterclass that I'm going to be running very soon. That's, of course, if you're watching this in this period. If you're watching in a year's time, I might just be doing the masterclass again, but do check out the membership site. So again, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you, and are interested in human design. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified when the show goes live, or I post new guided meditations, because each subscription, each like, each comment really helps with the algorithms and helps get my message and especially my guest messages out there. And again, like if you follow Dayna on Instagram or the podcast, again, that allows more of that information to get out there, and that could be of service and could help people. So again, thank you all so much, and I look forward to you all joining me same time, same place next week. Take care. Bye.